Good morning, flower friends. It's Madonna from Eastside Flower Farm, Los Feliz, California, Zone 9. And I just did a little small harvest this morning for a function I'm doing today in Red Bluff at the Beef and Brew. So I'll have just a few bouquets because it's a walking around adventure kind of day. So, people don't really want to hold a bouquet for hours. But I'll have a few just in case some of the locals want to come down. So today we're going to give a tour. I'm going to give a tour of another part of my yard. This is mostly roses. Here is my wheelbarrow of choice. It's Rubbermaid. I absolutely love this. It's easy to handle and it tips over real easy if I want to dump something out of it. If I have debris. This is all my rose cuttings. This is by far my most favorite wheelbarrow I've ever had, and I've had lots of them. So we are going to take just a little stroll into this next section, and the sun's just coming up. And actually, we just got a little bit of rain, like randomly. A cloud came over, burst for just a split second, and now it's going to be hot. So here we are. We're going to walk down the rose path. Here's some asters. So this is Earth Angel. That beautiful. I love like the cabbage shape. It's an English rose. It's a very soft, pale pink, very heavily petaled. So we are getting to the end of the year, so the leaves are looking kind of tattered. The roses, aww. Hi, Mommy. There's Steve Cat. She pretty. So the roses, they need to be deadhead, so everything's looking really, really past its prime right now. So I will actually deadhead one more time this year, probably this evening, and then I'm gonna let them go and see if I can get some rose hips so I can do some bouquets with them, add them in for some interest. So I have over 300 roses, and I'm definitely not gonna name every one of them for you, but I will go through and here and there, and then I might tell you the name of all of them because they're all so pretty. And this is Dream Come True, red and yellow. So we have some Triloba rudbeckia and a canna lily. And that's just kind of random. I have this offshoot here on the bank of our irrigation ditch, and I just kind of put random stuff in there. So I will say this is a very pretty silver lining. It's a very lavender, silvery, blushy. It's very pretty. And I have just all different colors. There's some lantana back here that goes really well. It's low water needs, and it just goes to town in the summertime. It loves the heat. Butterflies and bees love them as well. Here's some Savannah grass, or pink moly, I think is what the seed packet said. St. Patrick. This, when it first comes out, it's got a little bit of green to it, green and yellow. Of course, we have Sedum Autumn Joy here, and I've been picking a lot of that because I love to put it in my bouquets. Because when it first comes out, you can pick it when it's green, then it turns into the like greenish pink, and then it goes to like a burnt red color. It's very pretty. So I just have lots of different roses. Here's my Munstein lavender, and she's doing really good. I'm going to get ready to harvest some of that within the next, probably week. So we're just going to take a nice little walk through here. I love roses. They are my first and foremost all-time favorite rose ever. I've been working with roses since I was probably about 13, so I have lots of them and have always had lots of them. So here's just a bed. It's full of yarrow and verbena, and I'm gonna pull this out and redo it. And then I have some mountain mint that I'm trying this year as bouquet fillers. It's supposed to be highly recommended, so I have it contained just because it is a mint and you never know. Some salvia, some 4 o'clocks. These are my old crocosmias. The tops, they're dead now, so I'll pull them out and the bulb stays in the ground. Those are flowering quince. Here's Dick Clark. So like I said, these are all pretty tattered right now. They need to be deadheaded again. I do come out about once a week, and I do section at a time to deadhead them because there's so much that I don't do it all in one day. So here's my peonies that they're done. They only bloom one time a year for a few weeks. It's early spring, April, May, and then you let the leaf stay on, and we will cut them back. When we get a first frost, we'll go ahead and cut those back, but I'll show you when we get to it. So here's a big butterfly bush, or buddleia. So then we go into this section, and this was the rose that I said the other day was my absolute favorite smelling white rose, Sugar Moon. Again, not very pretty right now, but you can get the gist of the color, and it just smells heavenly, like gardenia, I think. So these are mock orange, more tree roses, lavender veranda, and these would be really cute for like little boutonnieres because they're like tiny little clusters of these roses, and they can easily be picked off and put in a little boutonniere or corsage. Pretty. This was my favorite. I said in a video earlier of my spray rose. It's Bonica, and it gets little tiny clusters of kind of a dark pink, and it's a baby pink, and then it fades off as it gets older. So we have Nepeta cat mint, not catnip, but cat mint. Some more salvia. I have lots of salvia. The bees love salvia. We're gonna walk over around here. I just have little sections everywhere. So here is miniature crepe myrtle, miniature buddleia, more salvia. So you will notice that I have these pots everywhere, and they're all different colors. They paint everything, and they are culverts that my husband has cut in half. There's screen in the bottom of every one of them, and we have lots of gophers, as many people do. So we decided years ago that we would buy those culverts, cut them in sections. I have lots planted in there, and I also have lots planted in the ground, and you know, that doesn't always fare off well, but everything in those culverts does really well. I paint them. These are all 6 years old with the paint, so I will have to respray them here. They don't stay because of the hot sun, and then when it gets cold, it pops the paint off. So here is a beautiful English rose. It is Munstein Woods. It is really dark red burgundy. It's beautiful. I'm gonna say they're all beautiful because they are, and if they weren't, they wouldn't be in my garden. So here is Twilight Zone. Another darker one, but not near as dark red as the Munstein Wood. So here is probably my grandest, the shrub rose. It's Graham Thomas. It's an English rose, and it is about 5 feet tall right now. And I prune this baby back all the time. I have to have it staked because it is so big and so huge that it flopped over last year, and I just about had a heart attack. So I told my husband, I said, we need to stake it. And it is an absolutely gorgeous, peachy, apricot-y, yellowish rose. It's just absolutely stunning. So this is a spectacular shrub rose, but you definitely need the room for this because there is no doubt that it's every bit of probably 4 to 5 feet wide, and as of right now, probably about 5 feet tall. And I have an old tractor tire that used to be Braden's sandbox when he was about 2, and now it's my rose box. So we're gonna walk around into my little secret garden right here. And it is an arbor that Walt made out of livestock panel. So I have 2 roses on the outside. They're the pink Eden rose. It's a darker pink Eden rose, which are darker pink. And then the back 2 are light pink, and it is New Dawn. And the only thing that I have to say about New Dawn is put it where you're not going to walk through it because it is the thorniest rose of every rose that I have. So it's very pretty, very, very thorny. So had I known that, I would not have put it in the walkway. So this is why I'm not going to prune my roses anymore, because we're going into fall. I'll deadhead one more time, but I want those rose hips. So if once you get that, then the rose, you know, it's pretty much told it that it's done. It's seeded, so it's done for the year. And we usually have roses that flower almost all year long here in California in my zone, because it stays warmer in the winter time. So I will deadhead one more time, and then I'm going to save the rose hips, because they can be used as interest in an arrangement or bouquet that I do for the winter time. So here's inside. Oh, little Steve cat. Hi, baby. I know. Here, we'll go pet her. She's a pretty girl. So right here, we're going to walk into, this is where I come and I drink my tea in the morning and I get some quiet time if I have time. I do not always do it because I don't always have time. So here we go. Over here, isn't that just a gorgeous purple blue? This is blue black salvia. Oh, Steve she wants to play. Blue black salvia, and it is doing really well right now. Some Chrysler Imperial. I have some Munstein lavender. This is, I only have 2 roses out of 300 plus that I have that I don't know the name of. And this rose, it's bright right now, but it's like it goes into like an orangey sherbet color. I got it for $1.97 at Lowe's 6 years ago, and I did not put a tag on it, and I didn't think it was going to grow. And for about the first 3 years, it didn't look good, and I was going to pull it out, and now it's great. So roses, like a lot of other plants, they are sleep, creep, and leap. So the first year you plant them, they're sleeping on the top. So their roots are establishing, and they're growing beneath the dirt, and they're establishing their base. The second year, they start throwing out a little bit more blooms on the top, and they're still establishing roots. And the third year, their roots are very established, and they start throwing out blooms, and then your roses will do really well. Winter sun. So this area, I had 3 roses die back last year, that being one of them. Actually, you know what? It's about 6 roses in here. This is all just the sucker part of the plant because the stalk is just dead. And I think it's because this section is all, it's got vines and stuff, and it's all blocked in. And we got several days, I know this sounds funny for lots of parts of the country, but at 26, 27 degrees here on our farm, that's cold for us. And I think what happened is, because it's closed in, is the cold temperatures just sat in here, and it killed off some roses. So I am going to restructure this part this fall as another project. So this is my most complimented and commented on rose that I have. It is Joseph's Coat, and it has red, orangish, yellowish flowers. Oh, okay, this one you can tell is a little bit more orange. And it is a climber, and every single person compliments on it because it's just striking. It's bright and bold, and like I said, it's ugly right now because it's going into its fall mode, and it will be beautiful next year. This is my favorite salvia color. It is a maybe fuchsia, and I hacked this thing back probably 3 times during the summertime growing year, during its growing season, and it just comes back by leaps and bounds all the time. Twilight Zone. You see the little bee in there. Pink lady. I have lots of pinks and purples and yellows because that's primarily what I like to grow. Here's another English rose, Boscobel, and it's ugly right now, but you can see the color, that it's pretty striking. Also kind of like the Munstein wood, but not near as petaled, heavily petaled. So then we go another pink lady. Doris Day. So my Doris Day tree roses do really well. There's only one other tree rose that is absolutely stellar compared to all of them, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But the Doris Day, she always throws out roses all year long, and it's a very pretty yellow. You can see that. Okay, so here's my little circle that's gonna get revamped. So I had this where it was rose, shrub, rose, shrub, rose, shrub. So these two I will keep. They're Edith Darling. I'll keep these two on either side. And this one stayed alive. This is St. Patrick. That one died off. That one's alive. That one died off. That one died off. So what I'm going to do this fall is I'm gonna, and these are all just suckers because the main part is dead. So these are all coming out, and I think I'm just gonna leave the shrub here. That's the mock orange, and I'm gonna let that go ahead and grow. And I will take that one, the yellow one, the St. Patrick, and I will take this one and transplant them because they're still good roses. And then I'll leave these two. So that's a fun project for this fall as soon as I can dig. So we'll go back around here. Pretty. I love just these pure pinks. They always look so pretty. And one, this is the Gara, and it self-seeded. So it wasn't planted there, so a bird must have brought some seed over from the other side, and I'm going to take that out because I don't want it there. Chrysler Imperial. Mardi Gras, she also does a few different colors, from a darker pink to a lighter pink to a sherbet pink and then an orange. I have two of these. Very, very pretty. And Steve just wants to be in the video. We'll let her. And this is Dick Clark, and it's also a fairly large rose, so you have to have room for this one. Some more lavender. So we're going to walk out and go to the last side here. And I usually come out on Saturdays real early, and I start deadheading once a week, and I do one section at a time. So Saturday I'll do a section, Sunday I'll do a section, Monday I'll do a section, and then it's done for the week. So this right here is Memorial Day, and this is by far my most favorite rose, tree rose ever. So first of all, it gets very long stems. Like, look at this stem. If I was gonna cut it, look at that, all the way up there, and of course I would cut it right there, because if you want long, you gotta cut long. So, and like I said, the leaves look ugly right now, but it's at the end of the year, and I'm not gonna worry about it. It is just a medium pink, and it smells so beautiful. The roses are always big, and it's always full of roses. And look at the stalk on that. Good grief. So here is where my cat, little Miss Steve over here, Stevie, has chosen this tree to be her scratching post. So far it doesn't seem to bother it, but if I wrap this one up, she's just gonna pick another tree, so I've kind of let her just do her thing. This I had staked last year because it was new. That will come off because I never leave anything staked more than a season. Oh, see, here's the rose, my $1.97 rose. Look how pretty, bright orange. There you go. So here's the other Memorial Day. I've had two of them. These are 5 years old, and the blooms are still as big as my hand. They're just amazing. So that is by far my #1 top tree rose, if you have space for it, because it's pretty big. I'm 5 feet tall. I'm 5'2", and this bush is taller than I am. So it's just a beautiful, big, wide, beautiful tree rose. So highly recommend it. And then we have hot cocoa, which kind of starts out kind of like an orange red, and then goes into a darker red. It's I haven't decided if I like this one real well. This is its 3rd year, so I'm going to give it one more year and to see if I want to keep it or not, because I have so many roses, and the thing is if I don't like them after the 3rd year, when I know they're supposed to be blooming well, then I go ahead and pull them out and either give them away or just dispose of them. So this right here is the other rose that I have no idea the name of. And the tag is down here. It's slipped in the side of here somewhere. So I bought this tree rose 6 years ago when we first moved to our property or built our house. I bought it 6 years ago. Here's the other one from Jackson and Perkins. And I have gone back to look through my invoice and I can't find it. It's not on there, but it is really pretty. And there's a funny little story to this, but it's not going to make sense because I can't show you. Well, maybe. So I used to cut this rose all the time, not get roses, because they would start like this and it looked burnt. So I thought, oh no, something's on my roses and it's burnt all the time. Well, finally, one of them opened up and they actually, it's supposed to be like that. So it turns like this and then there'll be like little dark burnt edges around it. I think here's an example right here. So see how the edges are just a little darker? So that's actually what I was thinking was burnt on the rose when it was a bud. So it's kind of like a brown red inside the red. So I kind of had to laugh at myself because it took me almost an entire year, a full season, before I realized that I didn't need to cut all the buds off and it wasn't infected. It was actually the rose. So I went back through the website also to see if I could find the rose and the name, and I couldn't. So one of these days I'll dig it out of the barrel. Well, probably not, but the name tag is in there, so if I get really desperate, I might try, but I probably won't. Here is a giant Greggii salvia, and the bees love this plant. They're always, always, always in here doing their little happy dance. And I cut this back all the time, probably 2, 3, 4 times a year also. And it's awesome. It does so good there. Okay, so we'll walk down here and finish up in the back. So we have the Gaura, or I think twirling butterfly, I think is another name that some people call it in some areas. And here's another little guy hanging on. Isn't that cool? So these have to be cut back all the time too because they block my pathway. So we'll finish up here on this side where I have some trailing lantana, purple. As I said before, bees and butterflies love lantana. Another white rose that looks, whew, that's a bad shot. That needs some TLC. So here's another mountain mint, and I put it in different spots just to see. I think it'll be pretty. Not this year, it's past its prime right now, but I am going to try it for next year. Here's the Queen Elizabeth. This was another $1.97 rose at Lowe's. I got this one at the same time as the other one, but I remembered the name of this one, and it's done quite well. So this is yet another section of my rose garden in our yard, and in the next few days there's our little miniature nectarine tree. Love, love, love it. So I will click off for today, Rosemary, and we will see you again in the next tour. Thanks guys. If you want to continue watching videos like this, please like and subscribe, and you can follow us along on our garden. Bye-bye.